Hey everybody, back with another unboxing. This is the Ulefone Armor 6. So this is yet another rugged phone out of Shenzhen. And I believe it has wireless charging, so that's what makes it a little bit more unique. Helio P60 chipset, so pretty standard. 5000 milliamp hour battery. Now Ulefone, of all the other smaller Chinese brands I've tested, such as like Oukitel, Liegu, Blackview, Doogie, Ulefone seems the most reliable in terms of battery size and capacity. Like what they advertise seems to be the most accurate in there. Like I ran battery tests before, and the Ulefone usually lasted the longest. Oh, I like this red color. So you have the SIM ejector tool here. Okay, this is funny. This is the Oppo SIM ejector tool. Okay, so it comes with a screen protector. You have a user manual. Oh, it's in color. That's nice. A warranty card. And then right here, what do we have? We have a lot of stuff. You have a dongle, USB-C to 3.5 millimeter. A red charging cable, USB-C. That's very similar to the OnePlus charging cables. And then you have, this is for data transfers, a USB-C to a USB-A port. And then you have a charging brick right here. This is the Europe/China charging brick. So it's a fast charger supposedly. And then we have here, this is for sticking to the phone to pry open the little flaps. So check out what it says here. All screen, 6.2-inch display, wireless charging, Android 8.1. So at least see, Ulefone is honest. This phone has Android 8.1 and it says 8.1 here. Some other brands, which I'm not going to name right now, but they'll advertise Android 9 on the website, but in reality, the phone still shipped with 8.1 and it'll say Android 9 is coming later via an update. That's probably bullshit. So, peel. Oh shit. Okay, so I accidentally pulled off the screen protector too as I peeled off the front, but there's another one right there, so no worries. I like the look of this phone. I like the red. It helps it stand out. So this is a flap for a TF SIM card tray. So it's a tray that can hold SIM cards and a TF card. So TF card, it's not as widely used as an SD card, so it sucks, but it is what it is. I don't. Okay, so you can pull out the tray with your finger. So I like that. So you don't need that little needle. You can just use your finger to open the flap and then just stick your finger in there and pull out the tray. I guess you need to have a little bit of fingernail like me to do it. And right here you have volume buttons. I like the circular volume buttons. You have a power button. That's it. Oh, fingerprint sensor on the back and dual cameras. We'll see if these are real dual cameras. So let me set up the phone and I will be back. Alright guys, I'm back with the Ulefone Armor 6. So as I mentioned during my unboxing, I actually get these rugged phones quite a lot. And to be honest, they've gotten really boring because they're all kind of exactly the same. There's only so much you can do with a rugged phone. But I think the Ulefone Armor 6 stands out a little bit in a couple of ways. So one is there's a UV light sensor back here, which I'll get into later. But I want to talk about the software. That's because I really enjoy what Ulefone has done. So usually rugged phones from smaller Shenzhen brands such as Doogie, Blueboo, Oukitel, Liegu, Blackview, they all ship with this really bland vanilla Android software. You know, like the one that's like very black and just everything looks very plain. So I really like that Ulefone has done something different with the software. First of all, you see that the notification tray looks a little bit different. It's been customized. It's all black with neon green shade. You know, it's not an aesthetic that everyone will like, but I like it. It looks different from the standard kind of really generic gray and white notification shade. And also apps load in this distinct animation that slides from the right side of the screen. I quite like this. Again, it's a little touch that Ulefone designed with this software skin that you don't get from other rugged phones. Usually rugged phones are shipped with the most bland Android software. And on top of that, Ulefone has given this software a lot of customization. For example, off-screen gestures. Like These are, not new to OnePlus users or Meizu users, but I've never seen them on a rugged phone before, at least not on this level. You see, you can launch apps by drawing an alphabet onto the screen when it's off. So for example, I've set that you can swipe left to launch the calculator from the off screen. That's because calculator is an app I use a lot, especially when I'm traveling. I want to calculate how much is something back to Hong Kong dollars. So you just have to swipe left, and then you still have to authenticate your fingerprint and it'll launch the app. So now this is useful because once you get used to this motion, you can swipe with your thumb and then immediately put your finger on the back and it'll open the calculator app right away. So I'm gonna do it right now. See, just like that, I'm able to launch the calculator in under half a second. And of course, you can do this with a bunch of other apps. So you can circle O to trigger YouTube. So we'll try it again. See, everything launches pretty fast. There's 6 gigs of RAM in there, so this phone is pretty zippy. And that's not all of the software. If you long press on the home screen and you go into launcher settings, you see that you get to change the appearance of the device too. You can go home screen style. You can choose to have standard, which is no app tray, or have an app drawer, which I like. And you go in icon layout. Right here, you can change the app icon size or the word of the app label size. So that's like nice customization that you don't always get with these rugged phones. Now, unfortunately, there is no swipe navigation, so you have to use on-screen buttons. But at least Ulefone gives you the option to decide whether you want the back button on the left side or the right side. Some phones like Doogie don't give you that option. And on top of that, you can hide navigation buttons if you want. So now if you jump into Instagram, you're able to take advantage and get almost a full screen experience without navigation buttons at the bottom, wasting space. So now you look at this display. It's a 6.2-inch LCD panel with 1080p resolution, and it looks good to my eyes. Colors look quite punchy. It's a little bit on the warm side, for like contrast has been dialed up, but not too bad. It's very pleasing to my eyes. So now, as mentioned, this phone has a UV sensor on the back. So all you have to do is go tool bag, go to UV, and then right here you can point this at the sun and test the level of UV light, so then you can know how much sunscreen to put on. I guess I'm not that big of an outdoor person, so I don't have much of a use for this, but if you're someone who likes to go to the beach a lot, it's quite useful. And all the other stuff that you'd expect from a rugged phone is here, such as a compass, sound meter, gradient meter, barometer, and a pedometer, track your steps. So all that's pretty useful. So now in terms of camera, this phone advertises dual cameras, and I do think the second camera is legit, at least in that it is a depth sensor. I know that because I took some test photos earlier. Oh, and the app tray is actually pretty nice too. I like that they're sorted by alphabetical orders, and when you download new apps, they actually show up right here at the top with a little icon that says new. I think that's pretty useful. So let's see, you can search gallery. So I took just a few photos. So you see, this is a bokeh shot I took, and the depth of field does look pretty natural. And then on top of that, you can tap this button here to do refocusing, and then from here, so you can actually adjust your depth of field. So you can have your aperture as narrow as f11 or wide open like f0.8, which when you do that, there's a more of a depth of field effect. So it's not the greatest bokeh photo, but at least it's a real bokeh photo, not that fake circular blur stuff that these smaller brands try to pass off like 2 years ago, a year ago. See, image comes out pretty clean, pretty good details. The shutter speed is relatively fast too. The camera app is pretty bare bones, but no real complaints. So this video is 1080p. You can only record up to 1080p video. It defaults to 720. 1080p footage looks good and clean to me. There is no stabilization though, so you see when it's very, very jerky as I'm even just moving the phone around. But the video camera is pretty good. It can handle exposure properly. You see, it went from indoor in my room back out to the window, and it fixed the exposure within half a second. See, right here. Usually a lesser phone would struggle with that, as I bring the phone back out to the window after being indoors in a dim setting. So one more thing to mention is that this phone isn't just IP68 water and dust resistance, it's also IP69K. So IP69K means this phone can withstand high temperature too, up to I think 80 degrees Celsius, which is really, really damn hot. In Fahrenheit, I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit actually, but trust me, it's hot enough that a human cannot survive in that weather. So this phone should be able to take any heat, even if you're in like the Sahara Desert in the middle of the day. And otherwise, the phone has really nice build quality. As I mentioned, I like that you can open the SIM tray without needing a needle. You can just use your fingernails to do that. And then I like that there's these little grooves down here by the bumper. It's a nice little touch. Like, they don't really do anything practically, but when I'm holding on to the phone, I do like running my fingers on it up and down like that. You know, it's like more texture to grip onto. They have them on both sides. The buttons are pretty clicky, there's no wobbling going on. And oh yeah, fingerprint reader, I already showed, it's fast, it's accurate. There's also face unlock on this phone too, and it works as advertised, but it's like the flat 2D face unlock. You guys know what time it is. It's time for a video speaker test. So there is only one speaker in the back, and you can easily muffle the speaker with your fingers. So this is, you know, obviously not ideal, but this is a rugged phone. It's not meant to be like a multimedia gaming phone, although it's definitely serviceable. We'll go up to, this is 50%. We'll go up 100%. The sound is good though at 100%, no distortion, although overall volume is a little bit low. This is overall volume. So yeah, there is a little bit of letter boxing up here in that the video just refuses to fill all the way around the notch. That's probably a good thing considering this notch is pretty big and pretty unsightly. I'm a little bit disappointed at how big the notch is considering this phone only has one selfie camera and an earpiece. You know, other phones have proven that if you only have one selfie camera, you can have a smaller water drop notch. So Ulefone might have been able to go with that. So now my final concern with this phone is pricing. I don't have the official price yet, but I believe Ulefone is selling this for more than $300, like $350. And I think at this price, it's a little bit high considering right now I'm using the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 as my daily driver. I'm loving this phone, and this phone, it's also only like $450. You could probably get it cheaper now because it's on sale now for like $400. And also because there's stuff like the Poco phone or even like the Honor Play, all these phones are like $300, $350. So those are much more powerful phones than this phone with the Helio P60 chipset. So for $350, it's a little bit high, but it is a rugged phone, so it does have a niche. Like, you know, again, if you're someone who works in construction, or if you're someone who goes to the beach a lot, or if you go camping a lot, then you will probably want a rugged phone considering this has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which will last at least 1.5 to 2 full days, even with heavy use. But at the same time, there's so many rugged phones out there, and a lot of them are cheaper. Now, I do think Ulefone has the best software of the bunch, and the overall phone is just a little bit nicer built and feels better in the hand. But is it worth paying like $150 to $200 more than other rugged phones? I'm not sure. That's a decision you have to make for yourself. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching.